I was gonna watch this. This is a little bit kind of sad. New World is basically dead. They announced, and let me see if I can show you guys this. They announced that the game is basically dying, like that they're gonna cease production on the game. The no new content update. The game was flourishing at 40,000 players, 35,000 players, right? Instantly, overnight, dead. Dead.
I honestly can't believe the timing of this New World announcement. Literally, in the past month, I thought this game was on track to make a big comeback. Like 1 month ago, I made my New World.
Okay, you gotta, bro. Like, come on. We've been saying this back and forth for like 2 years at this point. I mean, it's been a while, right? I mean, come on.
Is different in 2025 video, and this was before Nighthaven was even announced.
That's the new expansion.
Like all of the updates this year leading up to the Nighthaven expansion had actually like grown the player base, and then when Nighthaven was announced, massive influx of players. Has been received extremely well. And for them to then announce that the game isn't going to be receiving any more updates going forward, like the timing of this feels so bizarre, man. And
yeah,
if you aren't aware of the news, I suppose I should just go over that. New World on October 28th, they released a news post. Basically, the game will not be receiving any more updates going forward. Season 10 will be the last season. They're not going to shut the servers down just yet. It says that the servers will remain open throughout 2026.
So you've got a year left, basically.
New content, that's it. Nighthaven Season 10, that's the last content update for New World.
It's kind of sad, you know, like, because I played New World a lot when it came out. I know he did too. And to see kind of where it went, I mean, I feel like the writing was on the wall for this game after the first expansion. After the Rise of the Angry Earth didn't really retain players very well, it seemed pretty obvious that they started to really think about, okay, well, you know, how long is this really going to be going on?
It's so bizarre after how positively it was received.
You know what I mean?
And following this announcement, just look at this on Steam charts. I've never seen anything like it.
This is a
this
flop.
Announcement was on October 29th.
They just killed the game.
Charts, so this is like shortly after.
Took it out to the back of the barn and just popped it the fuck off.
Nighthaven. The game was doing very well for a few weeks.
For a few weeks.
Let's look at it on the monthly.
For a few weeks.
So following Nighthaven, it actually like stabilized really well in the 40k range, and this is without even considering the console player base.
Yeah.
So hovering around like the 40k range, peaked at 50k. So if you include console, maybe that's like 100k players. Slowly dipped a little bit next weekend, rises again, 49k on the 26th of October.
Yeah, usually goes up on the weekends.
And then on the then we start to see a bit of a dip on the Monday. On the Tuesday is to be expected, and then we get the announcement that there's going to be no more content.
12,000.
And we see this massive drop off here.
Literally 2/3 of the player base quit that day. One day, and they lose 2/3 of their player base.
From 35k to 12k players. It's understandable. People don't want to play an MMO that isn't going to be supported anymore.
Yeah.
It's so sad. What bizarre timing. I feel so confused, and I don't know. I'm going to have to pull this up on Discord. This is something that I was saying.
I mean, I honestly, like, if I were them, I wouldn't have said they were going to cancel it either. Like, maybe they had to for legal reasons, since it's the end of the year and they had to, like, guarantee a year of service or something like that. Maybe there's, like, some EU regulation. But in general, like, yeah, I would have never said this.
This is aged very weirdly. So this was on July 13th.
Yeah.
Just before I revisited New World. Anyone caught up with New World? How's the game been doing this year? I'll show a screenshot. It was like 7k peak. It wasn't doing too good. I say, I'm considering checking it out again, but it doesn't look like there's been any major updates. I feel like the game is on track to be shut down, and I'll actually be sad when it is.
Because here we are.
I like it overall. I just don't play it.
That's the problem, though, right? That's the thing. Is that a lot of people, like, this is the issue. If you like the game but you don't play it, well, you don't really like it that much, do you? I mean, that's what happens.
Thinking of ways to give New World a new lease of life, a rework for the game. Let me know your thoughts on this. And then I was like theorizing ways that they could kind of make the game more evergreen, something that you could play year round.
It's just,
man, I guess I had this this feeling that something wasn't right all the way back in July.
it was obvious that the game was dying a year ago. Anybody who thought that it wasn't dying, like I reacted to a video and I said it was dying a year ago. Many people realized this. There were some New World fans that were on copium, but I mean, you just can't. The thing is that I mean, even if you have the player base that New World has, it doesn't have a subscription. It doesn't have pay to win, really. So you're really relying on a battle pass with some like minor amounts of pay to win, but not really. And you're relying on a battle pass and a handful of other things to make all of your money. You're just not going to be able to support a video game on that. That's the truth, especially one that's required so much development like New World has. First expansion killed it for me. Yeah, paid DLC too. Yeah.
And just a few months later, I did not expect this to happen so soon. Mm-hmm. Definitely not. I think this has surprised everyone.
Every New World player knew this was going to happen.
Because New World was one of the few good, in my opinion, pretty good modern MMOs to release. It actually had the best graphics.
It did.
Like
great
with all the
graphics.
updates, it had like some of the best MMO graphics.
Yep.
It wasn't perfect. It was clunky as hell at times.
That's the problem. That was the fundamental problem with New World. That's the reason why it couldn't retain a player base. If a game doesn't play well, it's a bad game. Period. Bad games don't play well. Good games play well. Like if you go back and you play Classic WoW plays well. New World does not play well. It's janky. And they never fix that. At a very core level, it jerks your character around. It's really jarring whenever you're in combat. Like a lot of the very, very core functionalities of the game have problems. Like the amount of mob pushing that they had. And those were the things that they really should have dealt with and really applied their time on. Because if you had fixed those things, then it does, like the extra content doesn't matter because all of the people that are playing the game are going to quit before they even get to it because the game's not going to feel good to play. It's that simple.
It was very scuffed in places, and it was definitely an MMO that...
Somebody says the mobs pushing me around as a tank is 1,000% the reason I quit playing. It was annoying and it made it hard to play. Yeah, and like you could say, oh, well, you just have to be better at the game. I say, well, you just have to be better at making the game. Fuck that. Like, I don't want to play a game like that. It's garbage. And so, like, this entire mentality, I think this is one of the issues that people have, right? Is like people have this mentality where it's like, oh, well, MMO players, and this is a big problem, MMO players treat overcoming bad game design as a justification for it being good game design. It's not. If a game is shitty and it plays badly and you're able to overcome it by playing in a certain way, that doesn't make the game not shitty. It just makes you smart for being able to outplay it. And this is the big problem. MMO players take dealing with inconveniences and unfun game mechanisms as a point of pride. It's like, oh, I suffered through this very challenging and very annoying grind in the game, and so this is something that's important for the game to have. So this is one of the big problems that MMOs have, and they focus on trying to appeal to those players. That is, in my opinion, a death sentence. Because nobody wants to do that. Nobody, and also I think that like having a long grind is okay, but the problem is that whenever it's not fun or it doesn't function properly, which is what happened with New World.
seriously you took it, the more fun it had. And
Yeah.
I think almost everyone can agree the New World is an MMO that had a lot of potential. I don't really feel like its potential was fully realized. I do personally
That's
disagree.
true, but I mean, they had 2 years to realize it. They never did. No, 4 years. The game came out in 2021. You had 4 years to realize the potential. You couldn't figure it out. I mean, do you think they're going to do? Maybe on year 6 they're going to figure it out. No, they don't know what they're doing.
Agree with their decision to
I'm
take
just
the
being
game
honest,
in a more
right?
theme parky direction as opposed to sandbox, because the benefit of sandbox design is that you've got like a long-term sense of progression, and sandboxy games rely less on developers to create constant, ongoing, massive content updates than theme park MMOs. And New World took the theme park approach, which definitely costs a lot more because you are expected to just pump out content, new zones, and things like that. But I always thought like New World, with the way its professions work and the way the world is, if they designed it a little bit more sandboxy, a little bit more like they could literally steal ideas from RuneScape and just plug it directly into New World, and it'd work fantastically.
Would not matter.
But they just didn't take that approach. They took the whole story-driven theme park design.
Will you retry it before a shutdown? Yeah, I'll probably play it again for sure.
Aside from that, the game was definitely, it felt like it was doing so much better in 2025. The sentiment around the game shifted.
Well, of course it shifted because everybody that didn't like it quit. That's the thing. It's the same as like retail WoW. Like a lot of video games, this is like a false security that sometimes think people have, is that when a video game loses a lot of its negative criticism, you might think that that might be a good thing, but in some cases, a video game loses its negative criticism because all of the people that were criticizing it have given up on the game and they've quit. And I think that's what happened with New World. Like, I used to be pretty critical about the game, but then after I spent enough time and I realized, like, okay, this isn't really going to go anywhere, I decided, all right, well, I'm just going to go do something else.
2024, you look at a New World update video, any of the update vlogs, loads of dislikes, people just negative about the game.
Yeah.
And like this month, like with the whole Nighthaven thing, sentiment had completely shifted with this game. And sentiment around New World,
people like the Rise of the Angry Earth too. They like every content update they've done has been received very positively. The Brimstone Sands was received really positively. Like all of them were, it's not about the content, it's about the systems. The systems and the gameplay were the problem. The content was fine.
Honestly, it was more positive than I have ever seen it throughout its entire lifespan.
Because everybody that was negative has quit.
And then it gets shut down. For fuck's sake, why though?
Yep.
Western MMO development. Like it says, it makes it sound like in the vlog, it's not like, it's not sustainable to continue supporting the game.
It's probably not.
With like new updates. Maybe if you take the theme park approach, it's not sustainable, but surely there's something you can do. The game's got like the game had like 40k players, like just on Steam alone with the console player.
Yeah, with a brand new expansion launch that is based off of 4 years of developing a player base. Like, the thing is that I see what he's saying, but like if you really look at this in the context, right? So this is the entire context of the game. So in the entire context of the game, this was the lowest boost that it's ever had. The New World Eternum launch was better. The Rise of the Angry Earth was better. The Brimstone Sands Return to Eternum event was better. Every single other content patch has been better than this one. This is the worst one that they've ever had. This is just what the numbers show. That's it.
Base. That's like one of the more popular MMOs. Like if you was to take these numbers and rank like the MMOs on player population, New World would be like top 6 most popular MMOs.
Those websites are totally invalid and inaccurate. It's hard to say, but like I'm sure it was like relatively popular. A lot of other MMOs are dead too. It's true. How
is that not salvageable? How is that not sustainable? You've already invested the money into making this game. Surely you can just take a redesign, maybe a redesign or a rework to make it so...
They did that. That was the New World Eternum. That was the re-release of the game. They have already tried this.
It can function with a smaller team?
It was boring.
Surely it can still make money. They still had the whole battle pass system. They had a lot of
I don't think they should shut down the game and shut down the servers. I think they can probably still make money with the game and still kind of like at a certain point, like, I mean, it's like, I feel like you kind of owe it to the players, at least keep it longer than a year, right? I mean, like, you can probably make money making cosmetics with the skeleton crew and like having, like, I mean, Lord of the Rings Online still has servers. You really going to tell me that you can't have a server for New World? I mean, give me a break.
The game was buy to play.
Yeah. That was Guild Wars 2. Yeah, exactly.
Baffled on this one. I was saying not too long ago, like New World, I was always worried that New World would potentially be another WildStar. WildStar was a game that I felt was shut down a little bit too early. And
WildStar was a game that was developed for hardcore players for a while. WildStar was a game that listened to the top 1% of the player base and thought that they represented the entire player base. So they made a lot of systems and like dungeons that were really hard, a ton of attunements, really punishing raids, etc. The fact is that that's just simply not what people want. They listened to what the players wanted. You never listen to the players. You hear them, and then you don't give them what they want, you give them what they need. That's what World of Warcraft did. That's what every good game does. Bad games just listen.
So I had even less players than New World has now.
You think you do, but you don't? Yeah.
And I thought, fuck, if New World becomes unplayable, like any time in the next few years, in the future, I'll look back on this game the same way that people look back on WildStar.
That's true. I hope they don't shut it down. I'll feel
just
the
like
same way.
Traveling around the world, just being out in the environments, mining rocks, leveling the professions.
I had so much fun. I really did. I had so much fun playing New World. It was amazing.
I'm going to remember about this game, the soundtrack.
Yep. Love the soundtrack. Amazing.
The funny voiceover, proximity voice chat moments.
Yep.
I will remember the janky combat. At times, the combat felt absolutely fantastic. It may be in like the smaller encounters, but other times
it felt good, like 1v1 at low levels. But like whenever New World was a game that the better at the game you were, the worse the game was. The more that you played it and the more seriously you played it, the more problems the game had. And you remember seeing this whenever the game originally came out. And it was a bunch of, fucking 38-year-old craft beard dads that are sitting around talking about, I don't know why everybody thinks the game is bad. I log on every day and go fishing, and I'm level 13, and I love it. And it's like, okay, retard, give it 3 more months, and then we'll see where you're at. And in the 3 more months, you're at the same place we were at in 2 weeks.
It did feel really bad.
It's crazy.
But what other MMOs have we really had come out of the West in the past decade?
Well, ask yourself why.
Have been considered like decent? Not many. Albion Online?
Because they're bad.
New World? There hasn't been many.
Yeah, exactly. Because MMOs are just simply the amount of time investment and everything that you need for them. And I think also the people that want MMOs, there's too many people that want MMOs that want different things out of MMOs in order to make the MMO community happy.
Understand it from AGS's point of view. Maybe it's just it requires too many people to work on the game and they want those people reallocated to something else. But it doesn't make me super optimistic for the future of this Lord of the Rings Online MMO that was...
Dead, canceled, finished, done, yeeted, deleted, gone, and thank God. I guarantee you it's going to be garbage. They did Blue Protocol sucks. They did Lost Ark sucks. They did New World sucks. They did Throne and Liberty sucks. Oh, guys, wait a minute. Maybe the 5th game they make, that's the same genre is actually going to be good. It's kind of like Team Ninja, for example. Every Team Ninja game is basically the same. It is. They have generally the same mechanics, generally the same gameplay. If you liked one of them, you're probably going to like the other ones. It's the same thing as Dark Souls. If you like Dark Souls, you're probably going to like Bloodborne. If you like Bloodborne, you probably are going to like Sekiro. And if you like those, you're probably going to like Elden Ring. But the problem is that with this game, you have a 100% batting average, or let's say a 0% batting average, of missing every single time. And these games had a tremendous amount of marketing behind them. Like if you look at, like the New World or Lost Ark, both of these games debuted at the top 10 Steam most played games, most concurrent player games of all time. Both of these different titles were in the top 10, I believe. It might be the top 15, but I know it's the top 15. It probably is the top 10, especially with Lost Ark. The fact is that these games were just simply garbage. They're bad. They were not managed properly, and it's very clear that AGS does not know how to manage video games. They were given 4 chances. 4 chances, 4 failures. How could you possibly invest your money into that? And I know that we want to talk about like how sad it is and everything, but like if it was your money on the line here, would you want to pay for another one after that many failures? It's your money. You're paying for this. No. Absolutely not.
Supposedly in development, I don't even know if that's going to see a full release. Maybe they just look at MMORPGs nowadays and think from a time to cost perspective, it's just not worth it.
Absolutely. Yep.
It wouldn't surprise me to see the Lord of the Rings MMO also get canned again. I guess the future of MMOs in the West has to be indie. There is clearly no interest.
The next MMO that we're going to be able to have that will be good will have a lot of use of AI and procedural generation and other types of generative content. And that's the only way that MMOs will be able to survive inside of the market where other games are being developed so quickly. That's where I think things are going.
From the big publishers and the big studios to invest money into this genre. And if we want a good Western MMO, it has to come out of indie because they're the only people that are really doing it out of passion. Mm-hmm. So Western MMOs, basically indie devs, and we're also going to continue to get MMOs from Korea.
Well, I think that they did do it out of passion. Like the developers for New World, I think they really love New World and they wanted to make it as good as possible, but they just simply did a bad job. It's just that simple. Like it's not like the directors and all the guys working on the game, they didn't want New World to be bad. They wanted it to be good. They just simply didn't do a very good job. And again, whenever you're talking about like a lot of these like very core functionality changes, like the high watermark system, people are giving negative feedback on that in the beta. Like there were a lot of like very bad systems that New World had that players were actively complaining against, even in the beta, that were not changed. Things like, for example, the music changing every single time that you got into combat with different types of monsters. Like that was so annoying, wasn't it? And then it took them like what, a year and a half to change that? At a certain point, there has to be a level of accountability that lies with the development team for making decisions. There does. There has to be a level of accountability. And I think that with so many of these games, everybody blames the executives. And yes, the Amazon executives are greedy and they don't care about the game and all they want is money. Of course, right? But again, you don't have these executives doing this at Capcom with like fucking Monster Hunter because the game sold really well. It's very successful. The people that are developing the game simply did a bad job making the game. It's that simple. I don't know, like, I think a lot of people feel bad for criticizing developers personally. And like, I don't mean this on a personal level either, but I think that's because people know the developers. So it's easier to empathize with the developers. but they don't know the people that are the executives, so you can just say the executives are the ones that are bad, right? But the truth is that you had so many of these problems. Like, I'm trying to think of other examples of like New World and like issues that it had. It had issues with like at the beginning, the way that resources were being designed. So basically, resources were very, very bottom heavy, where the like the iron was worth more than I think it was steel that was worth more than star metal, and then orichalcum, which was the top resource, was worth almost nothing at the release of the game. And there's no way the game should work that way, right? But the problem is that the way that the crafting system was structured is that you needed, basically, it was like a pyramid system where you needed a bunch of iron in order to get a bunch of steel, in order to get a little bit of star metal, in order to get some orichalcum, right? And so these were functionary problems that anybody who understood anything about the way a game is played could immediately tell you are a problem. And the same thing with like having all of these different types of, like bullshit garbage buffs that you were able to get, and not being able to craft gear with certain things, and then needing to craft, like in order to level up your crafting profession, it took such a tremendous and massive amount of time that many people chose not to even do it. Then you had people cornering the market. Then you also had the markets being very, very defined and like hard to use. Then you had the end game zones that were just simply non-functional. Like you would have, remember that Thorpe monster, the Commander Thorpe, whenever he would charge at people and it would kill you even though you're not anywhere near him. That wasn't a decision that was made by an Amazon executive. This was a problem that people brought up in the beta. Like the Thorpe would swing his sword around like this. He would swing his sword around like this, and he would hit people that were directly behind him. And the reason why is because they don't know how to program the fucking game. And it took them 2 or 3 years to fix that problem, and that problem manifested in a level 40 dungeon in the depths. So at a certain point, when it takes you multiple years to fix very simple functionalities, you can't be surprised that you're gonna lose players, the game's gonna die, and it's gonna get shut down. I would not blame the grunt developer. Most of the time, they don't prioritize what they work on. What I'm saying is that the people that were designing the game were the ones that were fucking up. The designers and the people that were making decisions on what to focus on in the game were the ones that were making mistakes. You should have never released a new content patch if you can't figure out how to stop your characters from desyncing. It doesn't matter how many new zones you make, whenever the character... Oops. I've gone on a rant for so long, my computer went to sleep. So why would you be doing that if you can't even figure out how to make your character stay in one spot? Like you're in, and like people like the body blocking. Do you remember how long body blocking was in New World? It was in New World for like a year. People were saying get rid of the body blocking in the beta, but for some reason they didn't want to do that. So, and then eventually they did because it was the right decision. Actually getting CC'd, yeah, it was awful. And so that's really what the problem was. That was the main issue more than anything else. And my point that I'm making with this is very simple. This was not Amazon executives being evil. This was a design team and a development team that was incompetent, that did not prioritize tasks in the proper way. They took the most popular weapon, the greatsword, and then they locked it behind doing mandatory PvP for like 20 hours or something like that. And then you needed to do it for 20 hours in order to even have a chance to RNG loot the item. And then there was another item that was also equally good that had to say, it was just garbage. It was stupid. And it was stupid. It was just so, I remember that stream. Yes, exactly. And I never got the greatsword. I'm like, well, 105 levels. Yeah, I got it pretty fast. Serenity, that was the sword. And I did get the sword. I was lucky. I had some guys that were really good playing. Skill issue. Okay, well, tell enough people that you have a skill issue and now you have a job issue. That's the thing. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Tell everybody they have a skill issue. The thing is that any of these games is easier than Ninja Gaiden. Any of these games is easier than Sekiro. The problem isn't the difficulty of the game. The problem is the quality of the difficulty.
China, maybe Japan at times.
Still a skill issue, though. It's not... Being bad at a video game shouldn't... Like, if you can't have fun playing a video game unless you are at a top 10% skill level, then expect to not have 90% of your players. Bad WoW players were still able to have fun and play the game. Bad Final Fantasy players are still able to have fun and play the game. If you can't make an experience that's enjoyable for casual players that aren't like super good at the game, then the only skill issue lies with you as the developer. You're the one that's not skilled. A lot of people don't have hours to invest into min-maxing and micromanaging and figuring out metas for your game. If you can't figure out a way for that person to be fulfilled by playing your game without doing that, then you're the one that's retarded, not them.
Sad, sad day. I hope a private server for New World pops up in the similar way that it has with other MMOs. I don't know if that's possible because it uses like the Lumberyard engine. So there's probably not too many private server developers that would be familiar with that. But best case scenario is that people are able to preserve New World to some extent, either through private servers or maybe...
I really hope so.
If there's enough like outcry from the community, maybe they can change AGS's mind on it and keep the servers up. Because it'd be such a shame to see a world like New World just vanish completely.
I agree.
It's going to be bloody
really
rough
sad.
being an MMO content creator in the coming years, I can tell you that much. New World was one of those games that I always enjoyed covering. Every time there was a big update, I'd love like covering this game, jumping back into the world, immersing myself again. And I honestly, I just feel devastated that I'm not going to be able to do that anymore.
Sad. It is. It's
I guess
genuinely
maybe before the servers are shut down, could do like one last goodbye video, make like a tribute.
I'll probably go back and play it again a lot myself before it goes away. I will.
To New World, but after that. The game is going to be running for at least another 14 months. So maybe the thing to do is just experience it fully in that time. There are going to be world bosses.
I don't think he's aware of the Amazon layoffs. He's expecting AGS to do something. Yeah, AGS can't do anything. The only way that AGS could save New World is if they sold it to a third party. Like if they sold it to, and I don't even know what company would buy it.
Weeks and some seasonal events will continue, but there's not going to be any more holiday events. They are going to fully support the game, like in terms of keeping it up for the next 14 months. That's more than enough time to basically see every single part of the game's content. Nothing in life lasts forever. The only thing we have at the end of the day is our memories. So it's not too late to get your memories with New World. Cherish the memories you already have and look forward to the next thing. As for New World, it's an MMO that I will have a lot of fond memories with, and I'm very sad to see it go.
I feel the same way.
Let me know what you think about the whole New World situation in the comments below. Are you surprised as I am?
Nope.
Would you like to see there be some private server or some way of the game having some kind of preservation?
Absolutely.
And hopefully the next time I make a video, it's some positive news, because this one, it's not good, is it? Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Really quickly, whilst I was editing this video, I saw that there was a petition to reinstate AGS's New World Eternum team on change.org. I don't know if it will do anything, but I'm going to link it in the description and pinned comment, so you can sign it if you want to see the game have some kind of preservation. It might not do anything, but it's better than nothing, isn't it? Cheers.
Gambling has...
Man, that's too bad, right? And every single, what is this here? Pretty much everyone is sad to see it go. Yeah, I think that a lot of people, like, this is a consistent viewpoint that many people have with New World, is that it was a video game that had a tremendous amount of potential, and it was squandered by whoever was calling the shots. Whoever was making decisions for New World made a lot of fucking mistakes. And I think that's fundamentally what it was. Should watch the coffee video. I already did. I already watched it before. I'm only sad to have ridiculous potential. Yeah, there's the video. It's a lazy peon video. Obviously, like, I remember watching him play New World when it came out. He used to be a WoW content creator whenever I was a WoW content creator. And I remember watching him play BDO when it came out. He played a mage. Like, I've watched this guy for, I mean, I'm not even kidding, probably actually it's over 10 years. Over 10 years I've been watching this guy. And so there it is. Yeah, make sure to give him a like and give him some support. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. And so there you go. Who doesn't remember Scott saying, "I'm sorry, we failed again," like 10 times, the guy in that video? Yeah, I mean, that was like the game director. Yeah, I mean, you can only do that wrong so many times, right? And I think that's kind of what happened, is that he was around 10 to 20K for 3 years, and suddenly everybody is sad. Well, I mean, I think that a lot of people really like the game aesthetically. It's just that it didn't have anything that drew you to it that made you want to play it, right? And I think that's mainly the issue that New World had, is that there were a lot of things that, like, people just had no real reason to go in and play the game for. And if they didn't have that problem, I think obviously you'd still have a player base, right? And, like, the fact is, like, if the game had... instead of, you know, like 19,000 players, it had 119,000 players, they wouldn't have shut it down, right? They shut it down because it didn't have the player base. Anyway, MMOs are a dead genre. I don't think MMOs are a dead genre. It's just that the development costs. So in order to fund an MMO and to make it the way that people want it to be, you have to put in so much development money that you need to add in systems that make the game not what people want. So basically, in order to fund an MMO with great combat, with good social systems, great server stability, and it's actually a massively multiplayer online world, in order to do that, you need a lot of money. In order to get that money, you've got to have a lot of microtransactions. And you probably might also need pay to win. And if you have those things, you can't have an MMO. The main reason why Classic WoW worked is because if you walked into the fucking city and you saw somebody that looked really cool, it's because they earned it. You saw somebody in full tier 2 with Thunder Fury, a warrior, you could say, holy shit, that's the guy. Nowadays, there are all of these skins. Everything is, oh, well, you know, you can buy this from here. This is some sort of like collab reward or something else like that. That's the main problem. Would you fund and help make one? No, I don't want to. I would maybe like provide some consulting, but like I don't want to get involved in another fucking project, bro. Like, I just want to sit around and complain. I do. I just want to sit around and complain. I'm not a game designer. I don't want to be a game designer. I've never wanted to be a game designer. I just want to be a consumer. And again, I don't have all the answers for things. I don't know what New World could have done. Like, I know some things they shouldn't have done, for sure. But, like, I don't know the perfect solution. But I know they didn't either.